Hello, we're Eco Markers. The problem we noticed is that markers in our classrooms are getting thrown away left and right, and they're just going to landfills to biodegrade. So we wanted to come up to a solution for this problem. My name's Luke Tishy. I'm the CEO of Eco Markers.
My name is Bo DeWeese. I'm the CMO of Eco Markers.
My name is Cole Dunn. I'm the COO of Eco Markers.
My name is Riley Dorr, and I'm the CFO.
So the problem at hand is that even though these plastics are making it to recycle plants and landfills, it's that they still take 1,000 years to biodegrade. So if they're in our ocean, they're not going anywhere and they're going to be there. So we need to come up with a solution to this problem so we can get them out of our oceans and start using these plastics.
So our business is based off a circular economy. Expo does not have a service where they can send the markers back and refill them. So what we will do is we'll put bins in classrooms, and teachers can throw away their unusable markers, and then we can come by and pick them up. And for the actual process of refilling them, we found a way to safely pop out the bottom right here. We can get new filters inside, new ink, and new tips. And then once they pass the quality test, we can sell them right back to the school.
So our target customers, we're going to begin within our own Alma Heights High School, and then we would like to branch out down to the junior school and eventually the elementary school. And then once we've generated enough profit, we would like to move out to schools within the San Antonio area. And to market our idea, we're going to contact schools and school districts directly about getting our bins into their schools.
So our competitors are Pilot and Expo. Pilot is a direct competitor because they also have a refillable marker, but they're not well known, they're clunky, and they're pretty expensive. Expo is an indirect competitor because people probably won't trust the quality of our marker, and they want to stick with the name brand.
So for our COGS, it cost about 40 cents to make each marker. So 39 cents for the ink because we buy the ink in bulk, and once we divvy it up, it comes out to about 39 cents. And 1 cent for magic marker tip because if they're damaged or need to be replaced, we can.
So for our actual revenue, we're hoping that we can get a total of 240 markers in month 1, and we're hoping that we can add another classroom onto that each month until we reach month 3, and we get to 300 total. We're hoping that we can plateau at 300 for the rest of the year and end with a total income in year 1 of $3,300.
So for our TAM, we took the total number of students and teachers in the United States. We filtered out people under the age of 3 and people enrolled into military training academies. And that comes out to our sales of around $67 million.
And so for our SAM, the total number of students and teachers in the San Antonio area that would be perfect to target is around 420,000. We're going to factor out the people under the age of 3 because they're generally not using dry erase markers. And we're going to do the same with students and teachers in college because they're less likely to be writing on dry erase boards and more likely to be using technology. And once we've done that, it ends up coming to a total of $160,000 that could be made in the San Antonio area.
So our MVP plan and why we need $500. With the $500, we'll get 1,200 magic marker tips, 23 bottles of dry erase ink, and then 4 bins the size of 5 gallons to put in classrooms. And then with those materials, we will be able to test the quality of our markers and see if people would even buy them. With the bins, we will help teachers conveniently throw away the markers and not have to go out of the way to give the markers to us.
Thank you guys for your time and listening to all of us.
What's the
Manpower that's required.
Yeah,
The manpower that's required, it's going to take a lot of work to, it seems, to refill and then put the tips back in and then go back out and sell again for a minimal amount of profit.
It's actually not as hard as we might think. We have the idea of doing like an assembly line. Someone pops it out, someone cleans it, someone puts the new tips in, someone puts the ink in. So we've tested a couple times, and it's been gone by fairly quickly.
I mean, do you have actual numbers, like how many you were able to do within an hour?
Not yet. We timed it. I think we could do each marker in like around 20 to 30 seconds.
And how much is a new marker?
They are usually around $1.50. Oh no, for our dollars or like an expo marker
An expo marker.
$1.50.
Brand new one. $1.50 per marker?
per marker. Because like a pack of 4 comes out around 6, pack of 12 around 15. It's like 16, something like that.
So are you saving them? Are you trying to save people money? Or are you trying to save plastic,
Both.
recycling?
Both. We want to recycle because over 400 million expo markers are thrown away every single year.
Okay, that when you're talking about your target market, that's where you start.
Sir.
So 400 of those. All right. Well, understanding if there's a business model is really all about, how. Well, it's not a huge market, but it's interesting. I don't know how many people are thinking about this problem. I think it's a worthy problem to try and solve, I suppose. But
I mean, having an environmental sustainability story always gets people's attention. So, I mean, that's a good starting point. One question I have is product liability is probably not the word, but I think about brand representation, trademark quality. So if you're disassembling a marker and then putting in a new tip, ink, et cetera, reassembling it and then selling it back, I would imagine that we're stepping on somebody's toes as far as representing the brand, because now you've taken it apart and sort of jacked around with it, and now you're like out there reselling. So I love the idea of it, but I'm trying to figure out somebody's not going to like that. I'm not exactly sure who and how that gets manifested if it does. Maybe it is okay to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
What I think he's saying is that it could be a liability issue by and you may have to, in addition to the 39 cents and the 1 cent, you may have to put a strip on there. This has been reconstituted, or something that gives you the liability, it eliminates your liability issue.
It may also enhance your product, actually.
And this may be a dumb question, but what's, I hate to say the life expectancy, but how long does a normal, I mean, I use them on a whiteboard in my office all the time, and they don't usually last very long, but what's kind of, are we talking 2 months, the last?
It depends, especially when lots of kids are coming through classrooms and using them at different times. Some people, they forget to put the caps on all the way, or they mix the inks.
Right.
And it really depends. In here, they go by very, very quickly.
I would just look into that, because that's going to tell you kind of, I mean, if they're replacing, per classroom, 1 box per every, 6 months, versus, I mean, I would just do a little more digging to see how much of a demand is there in the classroom. I mean, I know, again, we use it at our business all the time, so there's other areas that you could possibly, drop off these bins and gather these as well, but just.
So my question is around the revenue model. So you're collecting these in a bin in a classroom, and you're targeting the school to purchase them, but most of the expo markers were purchased by students, correct, initially? And so I think you need to think about where your revenue is coming from, because
Students
buy them, or
Not,
do they?
a lot of times teachers actually buy their own
Yeah,
markers.
so at
Yeah,
the
so
beginning of
those
the
are
year,
teachers'
Regular
own money. I
markers.
don't know, but just think about it, because schools' operating budgets, and maybe Patrice can answer this question, but I just got concerned because schools' operating budgets, I don't know that those include buying a bunch of expo markers, right?
Teachers on the average spend, I think, about somewhere between $700 to $800 of their own money every year in advance of. Isn't that the right number?
So maybe they're, so just think
At least.
about, yeah, and so we're not going to get the answer necessarily now, but think about your revenue model of who exactly is paying you for the marker, and that will help you set the pricing. If it is teachers spending their own money, then that might be very cost efficient for them, as well as being sustainable, right? So just think about that a little. And then I'm going to go back to what Dr. Powell was talking about. I think you need to consult a lawyer, not only on the liability issue, but the trademark issue, that you're going to be selling something that has the Expo trademark on it. So you gotta check with a lawyer about what parameters you have to stay in, because you don't want to get sued.
Yes, ma'am, and we have thought about this problem, and I think what we're going to end up resort to doing is maybe going a sticker over their logo or something that can completely cover it so that they can know it's our product, and maybe we leave a disclaimer or something so that they know that this product's being repurposed and that we're saving plastics and that it's all to better our environment.
Perfect. I just would consult a lawyer to make sure you have the right language.
Yes, ma'am.
Good job.
Thank you. Drop the mic.
Good job. Good job.
I'm Mark Schechtman's grandfather. So tell your mom hello for me, will you?
Good job.
Well done.
Good job.
Good job.